what tends to happen is when people make more, what do you think they do, Spinny?
They spend more.
Yes. They spend more. So the real chef's kiss is to increase your earning power and decrease your overhead at the same time.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, then that gives you a pocket of money to invest to grow your money now.
Yeah. So tone it down to like maybe 2 hand jobs a week. You don't need 5 hand jobs a week.
Yeah.
2 is fine.
2 is definitely fine, man. Like, you're overkilling it at 5.
Dun 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 dun. Welcome to What's Your Ness, the podcast, the only podcast by Ness Culture. I'm Spenny, one of the hosts. I am here with Alexander the Great, the founder and CEO and president and jefe of Ness Culture Clothing.
Yeah.
And also this podcast that we're doing here, which, where we asked, what's your Ness? So, Alex, what's your Ness?
Well, I've been scrolling the interwebs lately, and I've been on a real financial literacy journey, and
right on.
It's been working out pretty decent for me, right? And I just see a lot of this on the internet, so I think we should talk about it today. So today's Ness is going to be BrokeNESS.
BrokeNESS.
Yes, I've seen a lot of brokenness on the internet, and we just need to speak on it. I feel like I'm fairly informed about some of this shit, and I want to put it out there to let everybody know they don't have to live in brokenness. They can live in richness.
Yeah, please share, because I find myself in brokenness. I mean, we're here in a basement right now doing this podcast, so
yeah, but this is where you keep all the kilos.
We're not gonna say things like that on the internet, but anyways. I got the definition of brokenness here pulled up while you were saying all that. Let's look at the definition of brokenness. The characteristic of being broke. Having no money.
Hold on, I have to stop laughing so we're doing a podcast here.
Yeah. It's the characteristic of being broke and having no money. And you might want to twist your thing there. I'm starting to get a little... Ooh.
Yeah. Hold on, what you mean twist my thing? Hold on, relax, bro. Relax. Hey, pause.
Hey, I'm flashing back to when I was broke and had to do things to make money, about twisting things. So.
Hey, brokenness will do it to you.
Brokenness is oh my God, it's definitely a thing.
Whew,
y'all hear that, folks? We got technical difficulties out here. We got new cables, old cables. We just we're just trying to figure shit out, make sure things function properly. It was some way you twisted it before that it worked. There we go. Yeah, that's just like that. Yeah. See, it's not always bad when I tell you to twist it, and you just twist it like Spenny says. Sometimes things work out.
Hey, I'm the one with the magic touch.
Yeah, you worked that thing wonderfully. So brokenness.
We
don't, having no money. It's, it's definitely a thing, especially in this society. I think, as the years have gone on, income inequality, things like that. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting broker, the broker getting broker. But there's things you can do to avoid that for yourself.
Yeah, and it's really kind of bad right now because the pandemic put a real strain on the economy, and by normal standards, we're technically in a recession right now. But since the presidency is coming back up, no one wants to say we're in a recession, So it's kind of wild. And not to mention they printed a bunch of money during the pandemic, which made everything cost more, but people's wages didn't stay up with that. So it's a weird time to be alive right now.
Yeah, no, all those people out there should be grateful that they have a $15 an hour minimum wage. That means for every hour you can get a couple jugs of milk or something. I don't know. It's
It's like fucking minimum wage when I started working was like fucking $7 or some shit like that.
Same. Yeah.
Hey, pull the joint up so we can.
Oh yeah. Well, this is what I just pulled up, which was ratio of the 90th to 10th percentile inequality between top and bottom decreased from 13.53 to 12.63 in 2022. So income distribution is 12.63 times higher than income at the bottom. I have no idea what any of this shit means. See, I'm not really a fucking economics expert.
Okay.
But I do know that isn't it like a whole thing that like the top, it's like a very small amount of like families and corporations have continually gotten more and more of the money.
Yeah, that goes back to the what was it called? Occupy Wall Street shit.
Yeah.
You know, like that was like a thing about the 1% and the rest of us. But one of the main things I want to bring up though is that like I was on the internet looking up some statistics, right? And it was saying that 60 today, 2023, not 1990, not 2020, today in 2023, that 60 something percent of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck. Can you try to find that? Look that up.
I think I got that right here. Let's see here. Yeah, 62% of Americans are still living paycheck to paycheck. Huh? I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say to me. Just
Pull the fucking shit up, bro.
It's literally on this. It's up there right now.
The other tab, bro. Take it down. Come back to me.
This one?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this. This is what you want to see.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
See, we got you're like mouthing things to me, and I can't.
You can't read lips, bro.
Well, you're like.
Are you lip illiterate?
Yeah. Well, I finally got it, but the thing is, you were talking about this whole thing, which I'm now going to go back to what you didn't want. Yeah, 62% of Americans. This is what you were talking about.
By CNBC. Yeah.
So I was like, why were you telling me to pull something else up when this is what we were talking about? That's why I was confused. But yeah, no, that's crazy. 62% of people paycheck to paycheck. That's like, so that means you miss one paycheck, and then you're fucked. You're gonna start. Yeah. You might not be totally fucked right away, but I mean, I lived through this for a bit when I was going through just a bunch of rough shit in life where I was not making as much money. The person I was living with, my significant other at the time, she was not making any money, and we weren't immediately homeless, but we started doing, paying bills with credit cards and just amassing debt. Yeah. And I got in this huge debt hole. I mean, I'm so grateful I'm out of that now, and I'm not like rich, but like I'm not like having this like debt hanging over my head where it's like all my income is going to paying off this debt, and the debt's like accruing, paying off credit cards with other credit cards. There's all kinds of traps set for people in this country. I think that's disgusting.
Yeah, and you know what the new trap is? Because Americans have officially acquired $1 trillion in credit card debt.
Wow.
American $1 trillion in credit card debt. And you know what a lot of it is starting to be? Buy now, pay later. That's like the new trap for Americans. It's like, oh, if I can't afford it, I'll get it and I'll just pay on it.
Yeah.
But you're always paying interest, and you don't want to do that. Like,
it's the mafia.
Yeah.
It's just the official, legal mafia shit now. Take it easy.
So, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
In your mind, what's the difference between an asset and a liability?
Assets, they're nice. You can grab, and it's like something that's pretty and that's out there and it's like desired. Whereas liability, that refers to more like how likely am I going to be able to lie with this asset? Right? Is that what?
Your ability to lie can kind of no.
Oh, it's
okay,
the wrong thing.
Okay, well, since I'm the guy, I'm going to let you know.
Yeah, you're my financial advisor, by the way. I tell everyone you're my financial.
Good job. Okay, so according to Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the definition I like, it's the like layman's term definition. Mm-hmm. The easiest way to tell a asset from a liability is cash flow. So If something is bringing you money, it's an asset. If something is taking money from you, it's a liability. And that's how you can just classify all of your assets and liabilities straight like that.
Okay, so I spend a lot of money on assets when I go and I get, I visit these special ladies who work and do things. They're very expensive, but it's an asset because it keeps my mental health clear and it keeps me sane. So that's an asset.
And I'm not against that. You just have to have it in your budget. That's all I want you to do. I want you to make sure that you have an asset. Well, is that a liability? Yes, because the cash flow. So you can have a liability part of your budget, but you have to make sure that you have everything bucketed out so you're not just splurging on liabilities.
Yeah.
You're actually acquiring some assets that are paying you, and you're still, indulging in your few liabilities with the amount of money you have for liabilities.
Okay, so they are liabilities. See, I think I was thinking about this all wrong because I've always justified all these sleazy things that I spend my money on because they're taking care of my own mental health.
Yeah, I'm saying your mental health is important,
Yeah.
So you should spend money on it, but and that helps build up your mental capacity because you can't be emotionally unstable or just distraught and have financial, literacy. Well, you can't have financial responsibility and your emotional state isn't right because as soon as something comes up, you're going to go with the emotional action instead of doing what financially responsibly you should be doing,
Yeah, that's very wise words. I agree.
Yeah. So
So I'm gonna keep paying for hand jobs. Anyways,
so on that note, we're doing the BrokeNESS episode, and the microphone was broke for a little bit, and shit is broke. We saw that 62% of Americans that's over 50%.
that's a lot of people.
Man, that's almost 2/3 of America are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's people even making over 100K a year. Some still paycheck to paycheck. But what's the brokest thing you see people do on a regular basis? Like some of your friends, you just are coworkers or something. You just see and you like, I know a little bit about your life. Like you probably shouldn't be doing that, or maybe even some of your own personal practices. What do you think the brokest thing that you see people do on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to just like talk shit about other people's decisions, but also like, I mean, there's stuff that I do for sure that like other people do as well. Like, I mean, going to bars I think is very dumb, but that's the thing. I feel like a lot of brokenness is like can be instigated by socializing and like social pressures to like go and we're all gonna go do this thing and like you don't want to seem broke, so you go and do the thing with these people, and then you find yourself afterwards being like, well, the way my bank account's set up is I can't, I gotta move everything from my savings now to my to the savings and only gonna go a few days, and it sucks. But at the same time, it's like you want to enjoy life, but yeah, I think the company you keep and being honest with yourself about and like financially responsible and being able to say no to situations that are gonna just make the brokenness intensify is important.
Yeah, but you have to identify that. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't do is they don't identify what's keeping them broke.
Yeah,
Like I said, they more or less, like you said, it's like I worked all week. If my friends call me to go out, I'm gonna fucking go out. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I didn't work all week to not go out.
yeah, but then when your friends say, let's get an 8-ball.
Oh yeah, I play billiards all the time. See.
You can play too much pool. It's easy to play too much pool.
Pool is an activity that spirals, and then they charge you by the hour sometimes,
Yeah.
and then you're screwed. Like you said, you lost a lot of money playing 8-ball.
No, I love playing pool. That's the thing. Like sometimes you just have to check yourself. It's like you can't just be playing pool. Like I made good money this month, so like now I'm just gonna play a bunch of pool, and now it's like great. Now I'm back where I started. So you definitely have to check yourself on that. I don't play really any much pooling. I mean, I'll play the dollar tables sometimes, but with the dollar tables, you got to worry about possibly injuring yourself if it's not like a clean table. So you got to be careful out there.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, some people have pool habits.
Yeah.
And with all your habits, you got to check them if you want to have your finances proper, because habits tend to cost money. And when you're spending more of your expendable income on your pool table habits, you're not going to have money to invest.
Yeah.
And speaking on investing, do you have any money in investments? And if you do, what do you invest your money in?
Well, when GameStop was up, like at its peak, I YOLO'd my life savings into it. So that was fucked. But no, I didn't actually go that. I did lose a little bit on GameStop. Actually, I feel like I've kind of broke even on GameStop.
You broke even on
Yeah, because I got in too late, but not like too late. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I have like some Apple, like all the stuff I've invested in that's like I've seen grow is just like, Apple, Microsoft, Google, big tech companies. I have put some money into random smaller shit. There's one stock. It's a stock from Canada, and the company's called Galway Metals. And the only reason I invested in it is because the stock ticker name, like the little acronym thing, is GAYMF, gay MF. And I thought that was funny, so I threw like $100 into that.
That's great investment advice.
Yeah, it was only like a few cents a share, so I threw like $100 into it. And they always like send me things like, hey, like Galway Metals, like gay MF is voting on there. I'm like, these gay MFs want me to vote on some shit.
Yes,
like,
you're a stock member, you're a stock partner, so they're letting you know as a because you own part of that company. That's what holding stocks does. That's what it makes you. It makes you into an actual company owner.
Yeah.
And you get to vote on certain shit, and they send you emails about it. Yeah. That's what they do.
I feel like it's bad. Like, I haven't voted, and like, am I like neglecting the gay community because I haven't voted on gay MF at all? I feel like I'm neglecting my duties for gay MF.
Pretty much. Well,
what are you invested in?
I'm invested in a lot. Because what I do is I do long-term investing, and then I do short-term stock trading. So that's how my shit is set up. But long-term, I'm invested in things that I think are going to be here in the future. So the bulk of my money is in Tesla and Apple. But then I also know that everything that they're building, the economy around, are just everything that's building, the AI, the tech, the computers, the TVs, all of that shit has semiconductors in it. If you don't know what semiconductors is, I'm pretty sure you heard of chips or microprocessors or whatever. Those are called semiconductors. And those companies are going to do well because everything that we have has that in there. So I have my daughter invested in SMH, which is an ETF, an exchange traded fund of all of the best semiconductor companies. But I am personally invested in NVIDIA and in AMD.
Nice. Yeah, AMD is good. I got a little bit in AMD.
Yeah, and I had bought AMD because my studio laptop computer had an AMD GPU in it. And that was like my first reason. But then I watched people on Twitch, and I know all of them have NVIDIA GPUs. So then that was like another like, okay, well, I understand this. I understand this part of it. I understand the computers got to have these processors, and they have, the game on lock, because apparently no one else wants any other GPUs from anyone else when you're doing stuff at that level. So I invested in NVIDIA, and it's like I said, it's turned out really well for me.
Nice. Is it too late to get into NVIDIA or AMD, or you think people should still be throwing money into that?
Yeah, I think it's still going to grow, and it's about where you get in, But also, if you're not fully adept into like where to get in, the best thing to do is find companies that you understand what they do, or you own some of their products, and you know that a lot of people are going to keep buying it, and do this thing called dollar cost averaging. And dollar cost averaging is just every month you buy a certain amount of shares of that stock every month. And what that does, which is why they call it a dollar cost average, is sometimes you're going to catch it when it's up and you're going to buy. And sometimes you're going to catch it when it's really down and you're going to buy. And you shouldn't worry about what it's really doing, because you should be planning to hold it for 3 to 10 years.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely think I'm going to get more into AMD and more into NVIDIA for sure, because like you, the same reason, like I use them. they're probably not going anywhere, right? Like they're, and computers are going to keep getting better. They're going to keep needing better graphics cards, crypto and all this shit, and like VR now and like AI, like all this shit is going to need more powerful shit, and they're just going to keep making it. So
cloud servers, all that shit, bro. All that shit needs fucking semiconductors, and they're like the semiconductor people. But just a word from the wise, the people who actually fabricate and actually create over 80% of all of the semiconductors in the world is a company called TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. And that company is actually coming to the U.S. to build factories because the U.S. doesn't want our chips to be manufactured outside of the U.S. anymore because of how useful that chip information is, how useful those designs and stuff are. And they don't want anyone. They don't want China still.
Yeah.
They don't want China still in it. And China and Taiwan, that's really what that whole little America Taiwan thing was over. It's like we want to keep them kind of separate from what China's got going on, and China wants to kind of absorb them back in. So that's like the battle between those two. But that's what I'm invested in, and I like the dollar cost averaging thing on companies like Apple. Because look at the easiest way to do it is to just Google the top 5 companies in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Look at those. Figure out which ones that you feel most comfortable investing in, or you think it has the best future, and then just dollar cost averaging in. That's like the brain dead easy way to go. Yeah. Or buy the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ index. Mm-hmm. Those are the two simplest ways to grow your money, because the main thing that I want people to understand is that every year your money is getting less of your money.
Yeah.
Let me say it more articulate. Every year your buying power is going down because of inflation. Mm-hmm. So if, say, you're making $50,000 a year, right?
Must be nice.
Say you're making $50,000 a year, right? And then we'll say 10 years go by. Well, no, just the next year, you're still making $50,000 a year. You're literally making less money because of inflation, because the average inflation for the U.S. is about 3%. So if you don't at least get a wage increase from your employer to beat inflation, which is at least a 3 to 5% increase each year, you're actually making less money making the same money.
Yeah, you hear that, employers out there? Give people raises. Also, and this kind of ties into something that I wanted to ask, and maybe like kind of a philosophical question. Is a broke workforce a more or less productive workforce?
Less.
I agree.
Yes, I think it's less also because workers are less motivated, mm-hmm. and then also it's worse for other companies, because there used to be, before Henry Ford, there used to be a 7-day work week. A lot of people don't know this, but the guy who made Ford's cars and actually is the father of the assembly line, which some people probably don't know, Henry Ford made the assembly line. Like, there was no such thing as an assembly line. They used to do it like part by part, like put the cars together, and he made it to where it's like, oh no, you snap on this part and we just keep pushing it down the line. Yeah. Henry Ford did that, but also Henry Ford went to all the other big heads and he told them, he's like, we don't need to be working them 7 days a week. What we need to do is give them 2 days a week to spend the money that they make with us. Yeah. And that's how we got the whole 5-day work week.
Is it? Well, I thought it was unions. It was Henry Ford that did that?
I swear it was Henry Ford. I watched the whole fucking little joint.
Was that like Ford propaganda? Because Ford was also like in bed with like Hitler and shit.
No shit.
Yeah.
I believe it.
He didn't like Jews. Hold on.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so I hear. I haven't like really researched this too much, but I've listened to people who do. But then that's the thing, you never know. Hold on, let me see though. The Weeknd. Who made The Weeknd?
Who made The Weeknd?
And not the
Drake.
Yeah.
The Weeknd's fucking good. My mom was working at what's that fucking stadium called? Yeah, see?
Okay,
pull it up.
Did Henry Ford create The Weeknd?
What was the thing at the top? What did it say? I swear it said that he shut down his factories on Saturday and Sunday, giving
Ford,
workers time off to shop.
Yeah, he did. But I'm saying, what did he just do that like out of the blue, or is there more?
No, it was an economical thing. Because he's like, all they're doing is working and dying. Like he wanted them to go buy cars, and you can't buy a car. You don't even think about buying a car if you're working 7 days a week. You need time to go shop for the car.
Yeah, no, I mean I could see him saying that, but also because I feel like unions were big. Like that's why like a lot of business people don't like unions.
Yeah. See, the 40 hours, the 8-hour work day and 40-hour work week.
Yeah, but it says mostly false. Hold on, wait. Let me just see, and we could like go down a rabbit hole of trying to get to the bottom of this.
Because you know this little like I found that out like fucking a decade ago.
Okay, so a viral image said unions did not create weekends. Henry Ford did in 1926 to attract better workers from his competitors for his automobile plant.
Yeah.
We wondered whether it was correct that Henry Ford rather than unions should get credit for creating the 40-hour work week. United States. Let me see.
I win, bro. I win.
Bro. This is literally a whole article that's like contesting that though. That it's
but I'm saying everybody's going to argue
meme.
Something. I can say technically my dick is 12 feet long,
yeah.
And you're going to argue it.
Yeah.
But it's still true.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you put it with an image and you put it on Facebook, it definitely lends it more validity. That's what. No, hold on, I'm trying to just get like because I feel like.
And hold on, and who's this fact checker that you have? You know we're anti-fact checkers, man.
Okay.
Go to Twitter. If X doesn't say it, then it's not true.
Okay, yeah,
that's the only place the truth.
We need Musk himself to say it.
Yes,
Musk will tell us about how the bullshit union commie propaganda is. No, I mean I've just always heard that the whole reason we have, the 40-hour work week and the weekends is because of labor unions, which were probably putting pressure on the Ford Motor Company, being like, "Hey, we're not going to fucking work."
Ford did it, and then the unions came after because they were working people to death. Like Rockefeller and all those, they were just working people to death. They was working them, and there's like because this is during the Great Depression and shit. So it was like either come to work or die.
Yeah,
it's how they were like building their empires. It was like fuck you. Like I'll get somebody else. If somebody's starving right now that wants a job, I'll give them a job.
Okay, so he did it. Yeah, he did it, and then unions were like demanded it of other companies. It looks like.
Okay, yes. Alex is very smart. I agree. Yeah. Okay. As long as we know Alex is smart, cool. Okay, so like I said, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the internet.
Hold on. Ford does deserve credit for adopting shorter working shifts, but he was hardly the first employer to do this, and the now standard working schedule did not become federal law.
You just gonna keep reading until you feel like you got me.
Bro, I'm just like I'm trying to get because I feel like it's more complicated than just Henry Ford like blessed everyone with a fucking weekend.
I'm telling you, it wasn't a blessing. He wanted them to buy his cars.
Yeah.
So he put them to work.
It was selfish.
Then yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't say he was fucking Superman. I said he gave us the weekend. But
no, Drake did.
Yeah, Drake definitely did. Yeah. Amazing artist. I love The Weeknd.
And I feel like this is like we should have researched this before because now I'm just gonna be like scrolling.
I researched it before. You're the one who's getting this information for the first time.
Yeah,
it's got you rabbit holing and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, but with that, speaking of Henry Ford and him making the 40-hour week and the 8-hour work day and all that other shit. I'm curious, like, what is the average salary, like, in the U.S. now? Like, can we look that up?
Average salary in the U.S. says here, as of 2023, $59,428.
That seems high.
That seems very high.
For the U.S.? That's the average salary?
That just solidified my brokenness. Like that, fucking, I would, the fucking shit I would do if I had that. Jesus fucking Christ, fucking salary, shit.
But hey, they said that's the average. So there's a lot of people making a lot more.
Yeah,
and there's a good amount of people making less. Apparently, that's
yeah. I mean, is that factoring in like the trillionaires and shit? Like,
of course.
So,
but I'm saying it's not that many trillionaires. So
billionaires.
It's not. I'm saying it's not that many billionaires.
Yeah, but that number like skews the average. doesn't it? If you're making $1 billion,
but
you average that with 10 people that are making 10 cents, it's gonna.
Who the fuck is making 10 cents?
I'm saying it's still gonna say like, oh, like the average is like
Person
millions of dollars.
I feel what you're saying. No.
Yeah.
So it's like on average, everybody's making $100 million. It's like no, one guy's making $1 billion.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. What is the statistic? I don't know.
I'm saying the rich are getting richer, but
because I feel like I make a decent, like I make better money than I've ever made, and it's still below that.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. Like I said, somebody had posted on the book the other day, and it was like, say something nice or say something good that you've done in 2023. And my thing that I threw up there, I usually don't chime in on these things, but I felt compelled to, and I was like, my net worth is larger than it's ever been in my life.
Yeah, no, same. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. But like you said, still, I'm nowhere near rich. I'm probably below average.
Yeah.
Like
no idea when I'm going to be able to buy a house, if ever. Not really even on my radar at all at this point. Just kind of like, I'm going to save what I can. I want to travel a bit, like.
Yeah. But for the savings, I want to make sure that you're also putting your money, when you're saving it, in high-yielding savings accounts. Yeah. Like, I personally use Ally Bank, which is an online bank, and they have a high-yielding savings account that's giving people right now 4.2% APR on their money.
Nice.
So if you had your money in a traditional bank, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, all of the other scammers, you would be getting in your savings account 0.01%. Yeah. If that. I think it might be 0.001%.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I have some of it, a lot of it's like in stocks. Like I just put money into stocks. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like my savings. But also I would like to learn more about that because I do have like my other money. I'm like, maybe I'll figure out some stocks to put this or just like let this sit here. But I feel like that should go into one of those accounts that you're talking. You said Allied?
Allied, yeah. So I actually have a recipe for that for you. So it's not something that you can do tomorrow probably, but it's something that you should work towards, okay? So this is the recipe. The first thing you want to do with your money is save it. And what you want to save up is at least 3 to 6 months of your wages. And you want to put that money into a high-yielding savings account, which Apple actually has one also. There's a bunch of them. You can look up a bunch of high-yielding savings accounts, and what they're doing right now, what those high-yielding savings accounts are doing right now, is they're beating inflation, which is fucking awesome because you don't have to do anything, you don't have to risk anything, and you always have access to your money in a high-yielding savings account. You can always pull your money out. It's not like in the stock market where you got to sell it to get it back, and then if it's down, you got to sell it for a loss, but when you should have held on to it because eventually it's going to be up because you bought great companies and shit like that. That's the good thing about the high-yielding savings account is that you always have access to the money, but the money is still growing for you. And what you want to save up is 3 to 6 months of your wages so that if anything happened to you, you have that cushion for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the first part of it. And then once you get that, then you want your money to roll over into your investments. Which tend to, have better yields than that,
Yeah.
Like Apple's up like 30-something% this year, So like if you bought Apple January 1st this year, December, you would be at fucking 30% more money, which is way better than 4.5%, which is way better than 0.001%.
Yeah.
So that's what you want to do. You want to first start off with your savings, then you want to roll it over to investing so that you can grow your money more, because the bigger you grow your money, that's when we get into this other thing called compound interest.
And what's the deal with compound interest?
Okay, I actually have a video I want you to pull up. He has a very like intriguing outlook of it. It's this old like British guy. Yeah. Okay, that one. Play this clip of him. I want to see, like, I want people to see what he's talking about.
All right, we're going to marry over England, he says.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second. Here we got this British guy.
He looks confused.
Take a look at this chart. If you invest 10K annually with a 7% average yearly return, going from 0 to 100K will take 5.84 years. However, going from 100K to 200K will only take 5.1 years. Take a look at this chart.
Okay.
If you invest...
So, because the percentage, because it's, right?
You said what?
Because it's a percentage, so it's just bigger. 7% of 100K is bigger than 7% of 10K is the gist of it.
You didn't know what he's saying, but also he's saying that you're still saving 10K a year to put into this investment.
Yeah.
So every year, we'll say January 1st, or maybe you're doing it throughout the year, which is probably better. I haven't done the math on it, but I think it's better to do it just like 1,000 every month or something like that. Which of course that's 12K, but the equivalent of 10K, just do it every month, because what you want to do is you want to get compound interest on your money. And what the point he was making is that if you started with 10K and every year you put in 10K and you got 7% interest on all of that money every single year, it would take you almost 8 years to get 100K, which you've technically put in almost 80K yourself, but then you did get a free 20K. So that's cool. You can't argue with that. Like shit, where was you gonna get the free 20K anywhere else? And that's just that's the average investment. But if you had 100K, now the numbers are bigger and it's more significant. And you can get from 100K just putting if you started off with 100K and you put 10K in every year, you would get to 200K in less than 6 years. And that's what compound interest does for you.
And now, what is compound interest in these accounts that you're like talking about? The high yield?
No.
What's the compound interest?
Okay, so compound interest is just compounding your gains. So, like I said, say you bought Apple and it just happens to go up 10% every year.
Yeah.
Which it does way better than that, you guys. So buy Apple. But say it went up 10% every year, right? You put in $1,000, boom. The next year you have $1,100. The next year is going to compound on the 1,100 instead of the 1,000.
Yeah.
So now you have $1,210. And then the next year you're still getting 10%, but it's more money that you're saving.
Yeah.
So that's what compound interest, because now you're not only getting interest on your principal, you're getting interest on the money that you got for interest.
That was my only clarification question. So it's still about stocks. It's like just the
no
principle.
It's not. That has nothing to do with stocks. That's just interest.
Yeah.
So even if in your high yielding savings account, if you never take the money out and you let that 4.2%, it's giving you interest on the money that it just gave you.
Yep.
And you didn't put any more money in, but you should put more money in because it helps the snowball roll, and it works the exact same way with debt. So that's why I wanted to bring up compound interest in debt, because like I said earlier, the U.S. is at $1 trillion of credit card debt, and credit card APRs are almost at an all-time high. They're like, for retail cards, they're like at fucking 29%. APR, that's 30%. Like I said, Apple went up 30% this year, and they want that just for you charging something and leaving it on your card.
Yeah.
And as they charge you more and add that interest on, you're paying more money on interest debt.
Yeah.
So the first thing you want to do is get debt free. And one of the best ways to get debt free is the snowball effect.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the snowball effect?
What's the snowball effect?
Okay, so the snowball effect is you take all your debt, right? Put it on the table. You look at it, and one might be $10,000, one be $1,000, one be $100, right? The first one you go after is the one with the highest interest rate.
Yeah.
It's not the one with the most money. It's the one with the highest interest rate, because that's the one that's going to fuck you the most with the compound interest of debt.
Yeah.
So you want to knock out the one with the highest interest rate. Once you get that done, you go to the next one, next one.
Well, I was like trying to cheat the system for a bit when which is very down. I was just in a shitty place, but basically racked up a bunch of credit card debt. And what I would do is I would only get these credit cards that would have the promotional 0% APR for a year. Mm-hmm. And then I would just do the balance transfer, because then you get the one with the 0% balance transfer too. You get the dual action. So then it's just like, okay, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to have to worry about any of this. Yeah, you know, I just make the minimum payments and I'm moving it over. But then it's like at a certain point, they stop offering you that shit.
They got on.
Yeah. And so then I was just like, oh, fuck. So I had to, I got a loan that had like, it was basically interest rate. I forget what, it wasn't like too bad. It was still like, I was annoyed that I was having to have any interest rate because I was like doing this like, oh.
Yeah, you thought you had it. You said, man, I'm a fucking genius. I got it all figured out.
Yeah, I didn't realize I would stop making these offers. And so, no, so I got, it was like maybe 10%. I don't know. It was some stupid interest rate, but it was like for a loan. It was like, okay, I paid off all the cards with that, and then it's like, okay, $500 every month. Or if you can pay it all off in full, then it won't have the interest on it. Like you can pay off the full amount. So I was just basically just racing to get that paid off because I was like $10,000 in debt.
I was 10 grand in debt before the pandemic.
Yeah, no, that was literally when it was like through the pandemic and like I think mid-pandemic and right after was when I was actually able to just like, all right, fuck off, like I'm done with it. And,
and that's a great segue to something I want to speak on, because I was having a conversation with my daughter about credit cards, and I explained to her that we, as in me and her, because she's my child and I want her to be financially literate, we don't use credit cards for things we can't afford.
Yep.
And she was like, I thought that's what credit cards are for.
No.
I was like, oh, no, baby.
That's what they want you to think.
And this is why having a father in the home is good. So I said, no, baby. I said, what we do, which is what I want you guys to do, is we find the card for, you may have a 500 credit score, you may have a 800 credit score watching this, whatever. You find the card that gives you the best benefits, the best cashback benefits with no annual fee.
Yeah.
And you use that card for all of your purchases. Because when you use your debit cards, you get nothing back.
Yeah.
When you use cash, you get nothing back. And some of these things are like bills that you have to pay every month. You have to pay your mortgage or your rent. You got to pay your car notes. You got to buy food. You got to do all of this stuff. And regardless of what card you get, whether it gives you 3% back or 1% back, it's something back for spending money.
Yeah.
And if you just are responsible enough to just, when you make the purchase, transfer the money over to the card, you pay 0 interest.
Yeah.
If you just pay it before the end of the month.
You got to pay it in full every month. Yeah.
You pay 0 interest and you get cash back.
Yeah.
Like
that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, I can't, like, I can't shuck and jive or tap and dance for you. That just makes more sense. Like, spend money, get something back. Spend money, get nothing back. Because some people are like, oh, it's just 1%. It's 1% you weren't getting.
Yeah.
And you got, that's how you break the brokenness curse.
Yeah.
It's stop, trying to degrade your progress. You know? Like, you can't be like, oh, it's just 1% back. Like, that shit ain't worth it. But your money ain't right. You got to take everything you can get. Everything that comes back is cash back in your pocket, And that helps you get to a point where you have financial freedom.
Yeah. And
you have to also lower your overhead, because the main thing that one of the main things I learned watching EYL, Earn Your Leisure, which is a social media. It's a media outlet that you guys should follow on Instagram and all the other shit. But Earn Your Leisure, one thing that I liked that they talked about was you have to budget yourself, right? Mm-hmm. But then after you budget yourself and you see like what you really want to do and how you really want to do things, you should work on increasing your earning power. But what
do you mean by that?
So, say you have a job, right? Mm-hmm. And they have overtime, so you may do some overtime. Or say you have a job and they're not really giving you a raise, but it's still a good, consistent job, so you're going to keep messing with it. So now you want to pick up a side hobby. You want to become a photographer on the side, or you want to do some gig work, Instacart, Uber, or whatever, to increase how much money you're actually making. Mm-hmm. But what tends to happen is when people make more, what do you think they do, Spinny?
They spend more.
Yes. They spend more. So the real chef's kiss is to increase your earning power and decrease your overhead at the same time.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, then that gives you a pocket of money to invest to grow your money now.
Yeah. So tone it down to like maybe 2 hand jobs a week. You don't need 5 hand jobs a week.
Yeah.
2 is fine.
2 is definitely fine, man. Like, you're overkilling it at 5. Yeah. Like, it's probably not even the same hands. You didn't even ask them if they washed them. Like, you don't need that.
That could be medical bills down the road. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So those are little tidbits that I want to give to people to, like I said, and all of this is shit you can Google, research, look up. Like, this some shit that I like got out of certain books and just listening to people who are more financially stable than I am and how they got themselves better, in a better place. Mm-hmm. And it's increasing how much you make, however you're going to do that, whether it's going back to school so that your job will give you a bigger raise because you have a extra certification or degree, and then not spending more and actually trying to lower your overhead so that you can have more money to invest. Because, like I said, first you got to get that savings, rainy day, just in case anything happens to you. You want to have that cushion because we don't want to be in the 62% of Americans that live check to check.
Nope. It's no fun.
No, not at all. Like I said, I've been there, like getting royally fucked, and it's just like, no lube. It's fucking hard.
Yeah. And then you get like that. Like for me, with my credit card shit, I wasn't just like balling out. I was living paycheck to paycheck, not making as much, still having to pay rent, still having to pay different bills, and paying my electric bill with credit cards. Literally.
I pay my electric bill with credit cards.
Yeah. But like not because
you weren't transferring the money over? I just told you, Spencer, go back into the fucking past and fucking do what I told you to do.
I need to go tell myself in the past. No, I was depressed, dealing with a lot of shit, but it was it was not good.
Oh, bro, you know what we need?
What?
A hot tub time machine, bro. So we can invest in Google.
That would be great. Oh my god.
Yeah, buy some fucking Apple, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing catch up now. I got my Apple, I got my Google, my Alphabet. Mm-hmm. So
Alphabet, hey, that guy knows.
Yeah, I know what's up. What are some cost saving things that you do that kind of maybe go against the grain in some way or another? Like you're talking about lowering overhead. Like what are some maybe some ways that you've changed as you've grown, ways that you cut costs, or just things that you do differently than a lot of people?
Oh, okay. The main thing I do is I use apps to track my budget. So I created a budget. Like I have a budget for food. I have a budget for entertainment. I have a budget for libations. I have a budget for some of these things that I like to enjoy. Like you said, there's nothing wrong with having your indulgence, but you have to keep it in check to where you're not spending so much of your earning power on just fun shit. Because what it does is it doesn't build you up. You want to have money that you invest. And I also have an automatic transfer from my checking account to my investment account every month. That money's automatically going to be pulled out and put into my investment account. And then I let it sit there until I find a good thing to buy. But also I buy Apple every month on the 4th. On the 4th of every month, I buy Apple. Nice. Rain, sleet, snow, high, low. But the main thing I want people to do is track their expenditures. And there's a lot of apps out there. I think NerdWallet does it. I use Mint. And what I do...
Yeah, I got Mint.
Yeah. What I do is I don't buy anything with cash. I connect my brokerage accounts to the app. I connect my bank accounts to the app. All of that shit. And then I spend money only with my card. Because when I first started it, bro, it was crazy. Because, like my daughter lives with her mom. So for the most part, like, I buy her food after school when I pick her up sometimes and shit like that. But, for the most part, I'm a bachelor, only feeding myself, right? Mm-hmm. So like the first 2 months I fucking tracked my expenses, I found out I was spending like $2,000 on fucking food. just from like, oh yeah, you know, you be chilling and it's like, oh, we're going out, fuck it, I'll go to fucking Everett and Jones, oh, I'll just buy this McDonald's today.
Oh my God, Everett Jones, now you're making me want fucking ribs. God damn it.
Like, yeah, you know, oh, I'll get some fried fish today or this, that, and the third. And I realized I was spending somebody's rent on food, bro. And I'm only feeding one human. And I'm not fucking big, bro. Like, I'm not, this is not 700-pound life, you know?
You got champagne and caviar taste.
Yeah. So what it did, though, is it made me self-check seeing how much I was spending. And now my monthly food budget, and this is for groceries and for eating out, is $450.
Wow.
And I haven't gone over that $450 since I saw myself spend thousands of dollars in consecutive months. But I would have never noticed because it didn't feel like it. It just felt like, you know, oh, fuck, I don't feel like cooking tonight. I'm going to just go grab something.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, bro, we're going out. Okay, fuck it. I'll come eat with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want sushi today. I just go get sushi, you know?
Yeah, it's so easy. That's a trap. I'd fall in that so easily. Like, I've gotten better. Like, I rarely order, like, Grubhub or DoorDash or any shit like that anymore. Because that's all those extra charges.
That's where people really get drilled, bro. That's where you really get fucked because you're paying more for the food and you're paying for the service to get the food.
Yeah, just out of sheer laziness. And it's like, I mean, yeah, it's just, you really, I mean, it's self-discipline, like, and it's easier said than done sometimes, but, you know, cooking, like, meal prep or just make, like, you know, I know you don't like my raisin marinara sauce, but I make a giant batch of fucking sauce, and I can just have spaghetti for days, or a batch of curry, obviously with raisins as well, but, you know, anyways, raisins are not, you gotta do meal prep is important, I think, to, you know, having, like, food on hand that you can make cheaply and it's good for you, and
because where it was getting me is that it's hard to go anywhere and eat for under $20.
Yeah, taco truck.
and I'm a person who tends to only eat once a day. Most people don't do that.
Yeah,
but you know, still at times I'll eat 2 times a day or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So say I ate 2 times in a day, that's at the very minimum $40.
Yeah.
Say I did that 5 days a week. $200.
Yeah, $800 a month.
$800 a month just on fucking around a little bit, and then that's at the minimum. That's just me going to bullshit spots. Yeah. Let's not go to a restaurant. It's hard to get sushi for fucking $20. So if I went to sushi spot, I'm spending $35. So. Yeah. At the minimum,
you gotta just get one roll.
Yeah, like I said, who the fuck was
that's not the way to do it. No, you need multiple rolls.
That's like a chick who wants one nut. You can't be fucking around.
You gotta get the sashimi. You gotta get the
I literally just went and got some sushi and I got sashimi.
Oh my god!
Yeah, some salmon sashimi. Oh my god, fucking fire, bro.
But see, now we're talking about like I'm gonna go like spend, and I've got like 12.
But now you're bringing me back to what I'm telling you. If you have a budget, it's okay to go spend that money because you know how much you're supposed to be spending on that. Because like I said, I went out and my friend became the mayor of a city. I don't want to say which city, like no snitch podcast. My friend became a mayor of a city. So I went out and had drinks with her, right? And I just, put it on my tab and I just bought her drinks,
Are you friends with London Breed?
No. She's been the mayor for hell long. Right. My friend just became the mayor.
That's all. I want to hear about this after the podcast. That's interesting.
Yeah. Crazy. So I bought a bunch of drinks, right? And like I said, I just kept buying them because I knew I had it in my budget. And then at the end of the night, I settled in, I tipped, and now I know how much of that is coming out of my budget.
Why didn't the taxpayer foot the bill for that? I feel like you could have got, I could have paid for that. Like all of us.
I'm saying we probably will at some point.
That's awesome.
I have to see how much authority she has,
Yeah.
See if I can get a man killed.
Yeah. Real.
But no, like I said, it was just dope. Like I said, especially she's African American. It's just dope to know somebody that's done some things like that, and she's had a very intriguing political career so far, and then she ended up becoming a mayor, and she was keeping it real hush hush because it's she had got it, but then it still had to be voted on by her peers or something, so she didn't want to jinx it or tell anybody, and then it was just our mutual friend was like, hey, she's a mayor. I was like, for real? I thought she was it's yeah, but she is now. We're about to go have drinks. I'm like, yeah, let's go have drinks with her.
Can we get her on the podcast? Can we get her in the basement?
We might be able to. She might come. She would come.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. She's hella funny too. Like she's hella fucking funny, and like she's just a real person. And like I think she's gonna do good for the city. Like she understands politics.
Yeah, it would be good for this basement. I'd actually like legitimately clean it up if there was like a mayor coming in.
Yeah.
Like I always do, kind of like the half-ass clean. You saw I vacuumed a little bit. I wiped some shit down before he came over, but it's a cluttered mess in here. But if I got politicians coming in the building, bro.
I'm saying I'm gonna put that bug in her ear. Like I said, we probably could do that. But like I said, I was talking about how I bought her drinks, right? I bought me drinks, I bought our friend drinks, you know, but it's still in my budget.
Yeah.
You know? I still have like $200 left in that my what I call entertainment budget.
Yeah.
So if I want to go out and I want to go to the movies or have fun with my friends and shit, that comes out of that pocket of money for my budget. Yeah. And I don't go over.
I feel like most of my, like, if I was to look at, I don't even want to look at what I've been spending, but a lot of my shit would just be entertainment. I mean, bars and, like, going out and just wasteful. But, like, it's fun. I mean, I'm having a good time. Apparently.
But I want you to be able to do that every night.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that every night is to stop doing it every night.
Yeah. Wow.
You know? So, because it's like, people say all the time, it's like, would you give up 1 year of your life to, would you, what is the statement? I think, what's it called? Jim Carrey said it. But basically, the premise of it is, would you, if you wouldn't give up 1 year of your life to have your life set for life, you're a fucking lost cause, you know? Like, sometimes you gotta, like, just rank it all the way back and be like, fuck it, I'm not going out for the next year. I'm going to stack up this money so I can have my savings account that's gaining interest. And then I'm going to stack up more money so I can invest and do dollar cost averaging every month to grow my money so that at a certain point, you know, maybe 3 or 5 years into it, your investments and your savings are paying for your entertainment. Mm-hmm. And if you never take the time back, you're always going to have to work to make your entertainment budget.
Yep.
When you can invest, and then once your money makes some money for you, you can take that money and blow it on playing pool.
Awesome. We do like playing pool here at the What's Your Ness podcast. And if anyone wants to play pool with me, I got a mean bank shot.
Bank shot.
Yeah. We play Bank the 8 at the dollar tables. I'll see you down at the bar. Put dub on the table and see what happens.
I can't even fucking make that voice.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play too much pool, smoke too many cigarettes in the bar.
You got the mustache for it.
Yeah. And the hair. Yeah, I'm going all Harley Davidson, Hells Angels with it. Yeah.
So I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah,
because I don't think a lot of people think about this because we're, like I said, 62% of us are living check to check.
Yeah,
you know. But do you have a 1 year plan? Do you have a 3 year plan? Do you have a 5 year plan? Do you have a 10-year plan? Do you have a plan at all for your financial freedom, or just for your life?
Not like a set plan. I mean, kind of like what you said, like putting what I can into stocks, you know, continually, long term stocks. I'm not so much like a get up. Check, like, oh, this thing might be good, and throwing a bunch of money and gambling on it like that. I'm more of like just a slow roller.
And that's the, they say time beats the market every time.
Yeah, and I think just, you know, kind of everything we've been talking about, it's not necessarily like a set plan. I mean, I do have like goals of like a number I would like, also, but you know, my entertainment and choices sometimes impede that slightly. But I'm definitely doing better than I ever was, and I just want to continue to, you know, make money, invest, save money, and spend less while also still enjoying life. But I think a key is finding enjoyment in things that don't cost an arm and a leg, which I'm generally good at, but I slip from time to time.
Yeah, I'm saying we all do. I don't want anybody to think that, like, you know, anybody's perfect. You know, like you're gonna slip up sometimes. You're gonna have expenditures, the unforeseen costs and things of that nature, and that's okay. But like I said, making these budgets and sticking to them are the best way to keep yourself accountable. And that's what you want to have. You want to have accountability. And the best way to have accountability is to have a budget. And the best way to have a budget is to have a plan. Mm-hmm. So if you know, oh, I make, a G a week, right? Okay, my rent's $2K. 50% of your fucking earning power is already gone on just having somewhere to place your shit. Mm-hmm. So, say that's all your bills because your car's paid off and shit like that, and you just need food and things of that nature. You may want to go out of your way to at least put $500 of that $4K into investing, because that's making your money work for you. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to spend your entire life working for money. At some point, you want your money to work for you, because then you can stop working for money, because your money's always working and creating more money for you. And if you get enough money working for you and you keep your overhead down, you can literally live off of what your money makes you. Mm-hmm. And that's the real financial freedom part of it. And that's different for everybody. Some people may just need to generate $50K a year and they're happy. Yeah. They have a very simplistic life. They bought a boat and they live on the boat and they fucking cook and they sell and they do shit, and the $50K is enough. Some people like, fuck that. I want $1 million a year and I want to be able to blow shit and go to Dubai and play pool wherever I want to go.
Play the best pool.
Yeah, you know? So that's something that you can only do if you have a plan.
Yeah.
And that's what I want everybody to understand is like, I want you to create a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. Because coming from the demographics I come from, a lot of people don't think about a 10-year plan because they don't think they can make it 10 years. Mm.
Jesus. Yeah.
And it's a sad space to be, but I know people who literally think like that. Like, why would I invest my money in this? I could die tomorrow. And it's like, okay, I'm going to come see you tomorrow. And if you're still alive, you want to invest?
Yeah.
And then the day after that, I'm going to come see you again. Yeah. So it's like, it's not thinking about the mortality of it, but it's thinking about some of the reality of it. If you're, an adult, you made it to adulthood. You made it to at least 18. Who's to say that you won't make it to another 18 years? Why not plan for another 18 years? And if you don't make it, it's not going to hurt the fact that you save some money. I'm pretty sure you might have children. Yeah. Those investments can go to your family, go to your kids, go to your loved ones. They have you write down your beneficiaries for your investments. Yeah. So it's like, I just want everybody to understand that I don't want anybody to feel discouraged, like that breaks my heart that people who don't have money feel discouraged about not having money. Yeah. I just want I want to preach to you to just build better habits, and I'm here to champion you to the point where you'll have that money. You'll have that expendable income. You'll have that financial freedom that you see others have that you think is unobtainable for you, that you think that you'll never be able to make it to, And that's one thing that I want to say to my people is like, yes, life is hard. Yes, we've lost a lot of people along the way. But if you make it to the next decade, let's plan for it. So the next decade could be fucking amazing. Yep. 26 is young, 36 is young, 46 is young. My dad is 73 years old. If he would have invested any of his money outside of his 401k in just companies, he's financially good right now because he had a good retirement, but he would have even more financial freedom. Yeah. And that's just looking ahead and not, bringing upon this despair on yourself.
Yeah. No, I got to get on it. And it reminds me of something that a family friend, older family friend said one time, and I forget the exact quote. I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's essentially the point that you were making about, okay, come back tomorrow. Like, it was more related to health, though. It's like, if I'd known that, like, my body was going to make it this long, if I'd known I was going to live this long, like, I would have, like, tried to live this long, or I would have taken better care of myself basically. Yeah. So it's, and it definitely, I think, in this country, or just in the world in general, it's easy to get depressed, and, shit is fucked, and there'll be bumps in the road, and shit that fucks with you, and things that get your mindset in a place where you're like, I don't give a shit about tomorrow. I've been there. I'll probably be there again. But it's
you're
good.
still gonna make it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm here for you.
It's good to breathe, look around, and remember, there's always tomorrow, and and there's people that you care about too. So, it's good to grow yourself, health wise, finance wise, however, just for that next day and for the people you care about. So.
Yeah. The people you care about and the people that care about you want you here. Everybody wants you here, and I want everybody to live the best life they can live. I don't want you comparing yourself to this person because this person has $100 million and you got $100 in your bank account. I want you to compare you to you. Because I'm pretty sure there was a time you didn't have $100 in your bank account.
Yeah.
It might have been a time you had $20K in your bank account and now you only got $100. So you know what that means? That means you can get back to that point. We just got to take those steps. One foot in front of the next. Make the right decision today for your tomorrow. So I just like I said, that's a decision I feel like I made during the pandemic. Is that I want better for my life, so I'm going to do better. I'm not going to allow myself to keep making bad decisions and justifying them on the fact that I want to enjoy life. Because I want to enjoy life, but I want to really enjoy life.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to gather enough resources.
You want to enjoy it next year too.
Yeah, I want to gather enough resources to where when I do enjoy life, it's not a burden. Because I know a lot of people will go on trips and have fun and shit, and then one thing goes wrong, and they don't have enough money to do the shit that they wanted to do on their trip. The rental car company fucked them over, so now they had to get a different rental car company, but that money didn't release, and now they don't have any spending money. I don't want to go on trips like that.
Yeah.
I want to build up my finances to where if something goes wrong on the trip and it's like, oh, I had to cancel my hotel because I wasn't staying there, it was dirty or whatever, and I had to get a whole new hotel the day of, which costs more money. I want to just be able to pay for it, wait for my refund, and still have that extra money to spend without stressing myself out. This is supposed to be a positive thing for me. So I don't want to do things with my last money trying to enjoy life. I want to do things with my extra money to enjoy life.
Let's go to Mexico, bro. It's $5 Ubers across town. You don't have to get a rental car. $50 a night Airbnb.
Let's go. I'm down. I'm hella down. I've never been to Mexico. Like I said, Gamo, Preem, Dreezy, they didn't been out there. I think Preem got a house out there. Like we gotta go to the lab. We gotta go to Death Star, man. We gotta go to Death Star and chop it up with Pharaoh and everybody, man.
Yeah, I was telling him about he's like, bro, I got better mics. We probably wouldn't have to deal with this microphone bullshit if we can consult with him about some audio tech too.
Yeah, remember I told you I know Pharaoh got we had a bunch of mics in there. He got mics in boxes and containers and suitcases and shit. Like, we got a bunch of fucking mics in there,
Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there any final Ness things for the folks out there?
Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna do a last little run through, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. These are just certain things that I've conjured up from my research on financial literacy and things that you can look into yourself also, all right? So, the first one is the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 is how long it takes for your money to double based off of the interest rate. And it takes, it's like a unit of measurement, like 72 years. Like, I forgot what the percentage was, but there's books on it and shit. Look up the rule of 72. It's about how you can determine how good an investment is by how long it takes for it to double. So that's the rule of 72. We talked about compound interest, the positive and the negative side of it. So what you want to do is you want to invest your money. You want to consistently invest your money, gain interest on the money that you're investing, and keep the interest in there. Don't pull it out because it's like, oh, my $1,000 is $1,200. Let me take $200 out and go spend it on Handy J's.
I was gonna say pool tables and legit massages.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You don't want to pull out that $200. You want to keep that $200 in so that the money that you got from interest gains interest, which is called compound interest. So next, you want to budget. So you want to know how much money you're getting in, and you want to know how much money you're spending, and you want to make sure that you separate the things that you have to spend money on, and then you make a small pot for the things that you want to spend money on. And if you feel like the pot that you have of small things that you want to spend money on isn't big enough, what you need to do is make more money. So you need to now you have motivation to figure out how to make more money. However it happens, for your occupation, or if you're doing gig work, maybe you need to do more gig work, or maybe you need to find a better gig work, or however your situation is. If you feel like your pocket of things that you want to do, money is too small, make more money. Mm-hmm. Or also lower your overhead. Maybe you're staying in a 2-bedroom apartment, downgrade to a 1-bedroom, downgrade to a studio if it's worth it for you,
Or a basement.
Or a basement. Paying yourself first, understanding what an asset versus a liability is, and an asset, like I said, versus liability, we're just going to go with the Rich Dad, Poor Dad version, which is an asset is something that brings money into you. Liability is something that takes money from you, know? And what you want to make sure that you try to work on is not working for your money, but having your money work for you. So, yes, we all tend to have to work for money, We have to exchange time for currency.
Trade in your hours for a handful of dimes. That's Jim Morrison from The Doors. All right, continue.
Yeah, I'm too black to understand what you just said. But like I said, if you are, no knock on anybody. Like I said, if you are exchanging time for money, you want to make sure that you're putting that money to work before you're spending it. You want to make that money make you some money, and then spend the money that money makes.
Yep.
Okay? And then what's next? Try this. I know a lot of people do the intermediate fasting with food and, don't eat until lunchtime and all this other shit and stuff like that. Try financial fasting. Try to go through a whole day without spending money.
Don't spend a dime. I do that. That's actually, I think that's the only way I'm still in the game is I do that. I didn't call it that, but I would just be like, okay, wow, fuck, I spent so much. I'm just going to live off what I have. I'm going to eat a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich and just take it easy. Yeah.
No raisins? No raisins. You didn't say raisins.
Because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was financially fasting.
That's a delicacy. Raisins are a delicacy.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to go buy raisins if I'm financially fasting.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, that's another thing that I do sometimes is I financial fast. I'll financial fast and food fast in the same day. And that is a fucking clusterfuck. And then trying not to spend money is crazy in America now because, like, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on the internet. You got cards. Like, you get hungry and you just drive through a fucking building and they shove shit out a window. Like, it's so hard to not spend money in America.
They want your money.
Yeah. Work on multiple streams of income. That's another one. And the main thing though is with all of these things that I've said to you guys, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I gave Spinny some extra little tidbits. What matters the most with all of this is having a plan, staying disciplined, and staying consistent. Once you have your plan, stay disciplined to that plan because you took out the time to make this plan. This wasn't just something that you thought up. You made a plan. So once you make a plan, you have to stick to that plan. And then you have to stay consistent to that plan. So that's the main thing is I want you to sit down, gather up all your information, your budget, your whatever, what you want to do, what you want to see, how you want to do it, and then make that plan. Now you have that plan. Now you have to stay disciplined to that plan. And you have to practice consistency on staying on that plan, staying disciplined to it. Day after day, this is the plan, and we're not differentiating from this plan because this plan is going to get me closer to where I want to be. Because this quote that I live by now that I heard this guy says, and he said, most people fail because they give up what they want most for what they want now.
Yep.
And that's what I want to preach to you guys.
That's
is
real.
That you can have everything that you want. You just have to make a plan, stay disciplined, and stay consistent. Yeah. Don't give up what you want most for what you want now. It's not worth it.
If the plan is 2 hand jobs a week, you don't need that other 3. You don't need 5. You don't need 5 handy J's a week. 2 is fine. Like, you can work within a budget. You don't even. Do you even really need to? It's something you can do yourself. Do you need that?
But what if she spits on it?
See, now you're getting into territory of, oh, well, this one over here, they spit on. Look, I don't care about the spit, the lubricants. I don't care what kind of aromatherapy they do in there, what kind of night they got nicer music in the other one you heard about. Great. You know what? Plan for that for next week. You don't need to do 5 in 1 week.
Yeah. I don't think you have enough juice for all that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, leave that shit alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to say about that. We got anything else, Spinny?
I'm all, yeah, I think there was that quote, but I feel like, yeah, I think we kind of passed that.
Okay.
And we've been going.
Oh, that thing you saw on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we do a lot of funny episodes, and this one was a little bit more informative. It was something that was, weighing on my heart because I'm a fairly financially literate person. Like I said, I'm not rich or anything like that, but I think I'm making the right decisions today for my tomorrow. So I wanted us to have this BrokeNESS episode to speak on so that we can have a richness episode and talk about how we did this BrokeNESS episode and we applied some of these rules and some of these lessons.
Yeah, I got to start doing that.
Yeah.
I got to be ready for the richness episode. It's going to take a little bit.
Yeah. Man, I'm just going to take me a while to get to the richness episode also, bro, because after the richness episode, we got to do the wealthiness episode.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And then the oligarchness episode, huh? When we
affluentness.
Fluentness.
I don't think that's a word.
Affluentness.
Affluentness. That, you know what that's called? That's called Danville-ness. That's Black Hawk-ness. Black Hawk-ness.
And Black Hawkness. Shouts out to Fonzarelli.
Yeah. My guy. You feel me? Ooh.
All right, well, you want to close us out?
Yeah. So with all this stuff that we gave to you guys today, it was a little less funny, a little more informative, a little more, meat to the bones, things you can actually use. Usually we like to, brighten up your day with some laughter. Today we want to, feed your soul, feed your brain with a little bit of knowledge and information to understand that, like, also you're not alone. There's 63% of Americans are living check to check. So if you feel like you're living check to check and life is just unbearable, and it's okay. You still can work on it. You still can do better. Like I said, we're all struggling right now, and I want you to plan for your future. But while you planning for your future, I want you to always, in every moment, in every decision, choose happiness. Happiness is a choice, even if you're financially not where you want to be, and you see it as just despair and things are never going to go right. Stop that. I want you to always, in every moment, choose happiness, because when you choose happiness, it puts your mind, body, and soul in the right mind frame to dig yourself out of this hole and fill that hole so that you will never fall back in it. So from Alex Gray and Ness Culture to you, always, always, always choose happiness.
Always choose happiness, even when the brokenness is here.
Yeah, facts.
We agree.
Big facts.
Thank you for joining us. Stay up, stay happy, and stay with your Ness. What is your Ness? Well, we'll find out next week.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what your fucking Ness is, dog.
All right. And with that, we've faded out.
Yeah, fuck those broke people, man. I tried to make it seem like I was broke, but I'm not broke. I'm fucking rich as shit.
Hold on a second now. We're still on the air. These people are going to hear everything.
What? I thought you said we fucking faded out, bro. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.